you going all labo head? Yeah, I'm gonna do that. Yeah. Well, I can't put this up there because his mother's using it. I can put this up there. Yeah. Sure. Yeah. We should start. Can I say something in my welcome about like getting an extra mitzvah for being here because it's the Halloween party? Got it. Okay. I'm just saying that you get an extra mitzvah because we just learned tonight that it's the okay. That's fine. All right. Hine matovu manayim shevet achim gam yachad. Hine matovu manayim shevet achim gam yachad. We're on page 10 as we welcome one another in song. Hine matovu manayim shevet achim gam yachad. 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 We sang how good and pleasant it is to be together, and it truly is. And if you look at the next song, Ma Yafeh Hayom, Shabbat Shalom, what a beautiful day is Shabbat. Ma Yafeh Hayom, Shabbat Shalom. 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 Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Ma Yafeh Hayom, Shabbat Shalom. Ma Yafeh Hayom, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Welcome. Take just a moment to look around, and you'll notice that nobody is a square, like they would be on a Zoom screen. Take a moment to take in the three dimensions of our sanctuary, of those in our community sitting to your right and left, and let's just make this a memory. Hine matovu manayim Shevet Achim Gam Yachad. How truly good and pleasant it is to be together. Those of us who are here, those of us who are at home, we welcome you as well, and we're glad that we're coming into your home. Kids, it's always a mitzvah. It's always a sacred, joyous obligation to come to synagogue and observe Shabbat. But when you do so, when so many schools are also having their Halloween parties, it's a double mitzvah. So how special it is that you're here. And of course, we hope that on Sunday night you'll have a lot of fun, as much fun Sunday night as it is for your soul to be here tonight. So please take just a moment, offer a Shabbat Shalom greeting to those around you. Maybe wave at the folks at home and you're going to. Please. Even though you're masked, we invite you to sing and add your voices and appreciate all the blessings that we have. We're going to turn to page 24 as we welcome the Malachim of Shabbat, the angels of Shabbat. And if you look closely, you'll see angels everywhere in this sanctuary. Not only maybe up in the rafters or by the ark, but the word malach, angel, also means messenger. So if you look around, the people sitting around you in this minyan are malachim, are angels, are messengers, as we bring peace to one another on this Shabbat. Shalom Aleichem, Malachi Hashari, Malachi Elyon. Mi Melech, Malachi Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Boachem Shalom, Malachi Hashalom, Malachi Elyon. Mi Melech, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Nile Shalom, Malachi HaShalom, Malachi Elyon. Melech Malachi HaMlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Lechem Shalom, Malachi HaShalom, Malachi
We are going to turn back to pages 2 and 3 as we bring in the light of Shabbat, and so many reasons why you may have come out this Shabbat to be here, to be together in community. We are especially joyful that Owen Ziegler will become bar mitzvah tomorrow morning, will be called to the Torah, and we're going to invite Owen's mother Rachel and sister May to help bless our Shabbat candles this evening. Again, page 2.
As these Shabbat candles give light to all who behold them, so may we, by our lives, give light to all who behold us. As their brightness reminds us of the generations of Israel who have kindled light, so may we, in our own day, be among those who kindle light. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav, v'tivanu lahadlik ner shel Shabbat.
קידשנו במצוותיו וציוונו להדליק נר של שבת.
With those lights, we move out of our week that has been and move into this special time of Shabbat. We're going to turn to page 20. And while we're a little bit separated from you tonight and our masks are off, thank you all for keeping your masks on. On page 20, we welcome our Shabbat bride. And just a special word of welcome also, because as I look out, I see a few of you who I don't think have even been in our sanctuary before, some new families, so that's really wonderful. So we welcome in Shabbat with Lecha Dodi, and we'll join in verses 1, 2, 5, and 9. On that last verse, if you're able, we're going to stand up and face our doors to really bring in Shabbat.
Lecha dodi likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Shamor v'zachor b'diborecha, yishmi'anu el ha'meyuchad. Adonai echad, u'shemo echad, l'shem tiferet ve'litfilah. Lecha dodi likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Likrat Shabbat, lechu v'nelcha, yihi mekor haberacha, rochesh edem esucha, sof ma'aseh b'machshavat tchila. Lecha dodi likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nekabela.
We can remain standing and turn to page 26 for Chatzi Kaddish, which will lead us into our call to prayer. And I love how some of our adults are helping our younger people follow along in the Hebrew. Yitgada v'yitkadash shemei Rabba,
Amen.
Elma divrachute v'yamlich malchute,
V'chayechonu
v'chayechonu v'yomer
Beit Yisrael, Bagala, Bagala, Ubizman Kariv,
Veimeru,
Amen. Yehi Shmei Rabba Mevorach, Le'alam Me'almaya,
Yitbarach,
Yitbarach, Yishtabach, V'yitpa'ar, V'yitromam, V'yitnaseh, V'yithadar, V'yitale, V'yithalal, Shemei Kudusha B'richu, Le'elam Minko Birchata V'shirata, Tushbechata V'nechemata, Namiran
Me'alma, Veimeru, Amen. Page 28. Begin our call to prayer with English words of reminding us to be awake and in this moment, words that are familiar from our Sunday morning tefillah.
Am I awake? Am I prepared? Are you listening to my prayer? Can you hear my voice? Can you understand? Am I awake? Am I Baruch Adonai HaMevorach Le'olam Va'ed Le'olam Va'ed Adonai, Adonai,
Let's read together in the English on the top of page 31. You may be seated. Our blessing for creation. Praise to you, Adonai, our God, from whom the evening flows. Your wisdom sets the way on which time and season glide. Your breath guides the sail of the stars.
Creator of the tide of time and light, you guide the current of day into night. As heaven spans to infinity, you set its course for eternity.
Praise to you, Adonai, our God, from whom the evening flows. Baruch atah Adonai, Ha'ma'ariv Aravim. And if you turn to page 32, you'll see two words in Hebrew and two in English, Ahavat Olam, everlasting love. And this prayer leads us into Shema. And we want to take this moment. You may not even know we're going to call you up, but we're just going to do it anyway. If there are any fourth graders who are here with us, and I see quite a few of you. Let's see, I see. Yeah, come on up. You're going to join us. We're going to put our mask on. So let's see. I see Charlotte Abraham and Naomi Briggs, Hudson Sipes, Ada Pickering, Haley Merstein. Am I missing anyone? Julia Spitzer. Let's see. I think we have everyone. Okay. And and Rabbi Micah, we've got some cedar ring there that maybe you can start to pass out. So in this moment leading up to Shema, every year we give out to our Hebrew students who are really just starting to read and put it all together, their own Siddur, their own prayer book. And our fourth graders are going to, Rabbi Micah, the ones that were separated are the ones that I knew that were coming in the front. So that's going to be, yeah. So the first pile in the front have plus, yeah. Okay. No, I think we're good. We've got everyone, yeah. All right, so we've got names on these Sidurim that that everyone is going to get. And we know that there are some fourth graders also joining through live stream, and anyone else, we're going to give you your Siddur during our Hebrew class. So
good.
all right, excellent. All right, so we're going to ask everyone to rise because we're about to say Shema together. And you guys can all open to page 34. And in this moment, fourth graders, we are just blessing you with the sweetness of your Hebrew studies that you have already all started. Yeah, did you find page 34 there? Excellent. And on page 34, you'll see in very fancy Hebrew on the top of the page the word Shema. You all see that? Yes, yeah, I know. You can even show everyone. So we are just so proud of our fourth graders who are diving into their Hebrew studies this year. And I say this every year to our fourth graders that, you're going to have to trust me on this, by the end of this year, you are all going to be able to read the prayers in this very special book that tells the story of the Jewish people. So we're going to be working with you and guiding you and having you up here again on our bima to help lead us. And we just hope that your studies will be very sweet. So you can stay up here with us as we all join in Shema together.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Le'olam
Right, and everyone can be seated, including our fourth graders. You can take the Siddur with you, but at the end of the service, if you don't want to have to bring it back Tuesday, Wednesday, you can add it to the pile. But take it with you. You can use it tonight. And we're going to call up Owen Ziegler, to lead us in the continuation of Shema with Ve'ahavta, reminding us to teach our tradition to our children. And again, fourth graders, before you know it, you'll be up here leading Ve'ahavta. So we'll join together in the Hebrew, page 36.
Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavcha u'b'chol nafshecha u'b'chol meodecha v'hayu ha'devarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavecha hayom al levavecha Vishinantam levanecha vidibarta bam Vishivtecha bebetecha uvlechtecha vaderech uvshochbecha uvkumecha uvshartam leot al yadecha v'hayu litotafot beinenecha Uchtatam al mezuzot beitecha uvisharecha leman tiskeru vasitem et mitzvotai v'hiyatem kedoshim lelohehem ani Adonai Elohehem asher hotzeti ethem me'eretz Mitzrayim liot lahem le'Elohim ani Adonai Elohechem.
As Owen makes his way down, speaking of teaching our tradition to our children, I do just want to acknowledge that we have representing all of our teachers at Temple Beth David here, Jenny Bushinsky, our first grade teacher, Cantor Mark Stober, who is teaching Hebrew to our 5th and 6th graders, and some of our teachers are tuning in through our live stream as well. We are so grateful for your teaching, and some of our madrichim who are here as well, our teenagers who help out. Let's join together on the top of page 39. Standing on the parted shores of history, we still believe what we were taught before ever we stood at Sinai's foot, that wherever we go, it is eternally Egypt, that there is a better place, a promised land, that the winding way to that promise passes through the wilderness, that there is no way to get from here to there except by joining hands and marching together. Join in Micha Mocha, our Song of the Sea, page 40.
Yai lai lai la 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 yai lai lai la 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 yai lai lai la 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 yai la lai lai la 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 Micha mocha bai limadonai Micha mocha nedar bakodesh Torah tehilot sefele Torah tehilot sefele Malechutecha ra'u banecha Bokei nifte Moshe u'Miriam Le'elianu ve'ameru Le'elianu ve'ameru Adonai imo le'olam va'ed Adonai imo le'olam va'ed Yai lai lai la lai la 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 Yai lai lai la lai la 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 Yai lai lai la lai la 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 Yai la lai lai la 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 Adonai Jacob Ugalom Yachazak Mimenu Baruch Ata Adonai Ga'al Yisrael. Turn now to page 42 as we join in our prayer for the evening, as it might be near bedtime for some of you. This is our Jewish lullaby of asking that we will have a restful night and wake up to a new day, Hashkivenu, and page 42. You can also find some English words that we're going to add on the yellow page that was right outside. Hopefully you picked it up. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu Leshalom V'hamidenu Shomrei Nu Lechaim Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu Leshalom V'hamidenu Shomrei Nu Lechaim Tzeitenu Uvoenu Lechaim u'shalom Me'ata ve'ad olam Sometimes I lay under the moon. I thank God I'm breathing. Then I pray, don't take me soon. 'Cause I'm here for a reason. Sometimes in my tears I drown, but I never let it get me down. So when negativity surrounds, I know someday it'll all turn around. 'Cause all my life I've been waiting for, I've been praying for the people to say that we don't want to fight no more. There'll be no more war, and our children will play one day, one day, one day, one day, one day, one day. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu leShalom V'hamidenu Shomrei Nu lechaim. Page 44, we celebrate the gift of Shabbat each week. V'shamru b'nei Yisrael et HaShabbat la'asot et HaShabbat ledorotam berit olam. V'shamru b'nei Yisrael et HaShabbat la'asot et HaShabbat ledorotam berit olam. V'enu b'nei Yisrael oti leolam, oti leolam, oti leolam. V'shamru b'nei Yisrael et HaShabbat la'asot et HaShabbat ledorotam berit olam. Ki sheshet yamim Asa Adonai et hashamayim ve'et ha'aretz. V'shamru b'nei Yisrael et HaShabbat la'asot et HaShabbat ledorotam berit olam. Uvayom hashvi Shabbat vaynafash, Shabbat vaynafash, Shabbat vaynafash. V'shamru b'nei Yisrael et HaShabbat la'asot et HaShabbat ledorotam berit olam. Going to move into our tefillah, our central prayer, which we will rise, page 46. And this prayer will go into a few moments of silence. I already see some kids have taken advantage of our quiet toy bin over there. If you really need something, you're welcome to use that. But everyone in their seats is doing great. So this kids only, not adults. But anyway, we do see a few of our 6th grade Hebrew students here, so we want to invite you to join us because we know you've been really practicing this prayer, page 46. And we'll begin together and then have a few minutes of silence as we bless those who've come before us. You guys can come up, come join us. And any 7th graders who have not yet become bar and bat mitzvah, not to name any names, you can join us. I guess you have not become bar mitzvah yet. Oh, and that's true. All right. Adonai sifatai tiftachu fi tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips, that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu v'Elohei avotenu v'imotenu,
Elohe Avraham, Elohe Yitzchak, Elohe Yaakov, Elohe Sarah, Elohe Rivka, Elohe Rachel, Elohe Leah, El Hagadol, Hagibor, Vahanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, Vekonei Hakol, Vezocher Chasdei Avot Ve'imahot, Umevi Geula Livnei Vneihem, Leman Shemo Be'ahava, Melech Ozer Umoshia Umagen, Baruch Atah Adonai, Magen Avraham ve'Ezrat Sarah, Atah Gibor le'olam Adonai, Mechayeh hakol Atah Rav le'Hoshia, Mashiv haruach u'morid hagashem, Mechakel chayim bechesed, Mechayeh hakol berachamim rabim, Somach noflim verofech cholim, umatir asurim, umekayem emunato, lishenei afar, micha mocha bal gevurot, umidom melech, melech memit, Umechaya, Umatzmiach Yeshua, V'ne'emanata la'achayot hakol, Baruch atah Adonai, Mechayeh hakol, Atah kadosh v'shimcha kadosh, U'kdoshim b'chol yom yahalelucha selah, Baruch atah Adonai, Ha'el HaKadosh. Blessed are you, Adonai, the holy God. Will invite you to take a moment to either read the prayers on the pages or to add your own prayer, and feel free to be seated when you're ready. Going to come back together for the prayer for peace, for shalom, for wholeness, completeness, page 60. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Vasim Leolam. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Vasim Leolam. Ki atahu melech adon V'chol ha-shalom, ki atahu melech adon, v'chol ha-shalom, shalom rav Yisrael amcha, vasim leolam, shalom rav Yisrael amcha, vasim leolam. Tasim leolam, tasim leolam, tasim leolam. We turn our prayers now to healing as we name and pray for loved ones who are ill at this time. You can find Misha Berach on page 253. And we especially hold these loved ones, members of our community, in our prayers. Colin Monroe, Mary Lou Hole, Janet Watson, Paul Rubillard, Elizabeth Hill, Kelso Silva, Enrico Mascaro, Deborah Booker, Amy Syke, Robert Bloom, Annalie Stone, Benjamin Horowitz, Bradley Dichter, Matteo Goldman, Dan Ruggiero, Toby Weiner, Esya Rushovskaya, Amy Fasper-Kurtz, Eileen Arnone, Charles Atkins, Marilyn Breyer, Jean Sands, Roseanne Cohen, Doug Cohen, Tom Fiorino, Michelle Heller, Barry Levine, Margaret G., Jamie Cook, Carolyn Kaufman, Carolyn Weil. If there are other names that you'd like to share with us as I look through the room, you're welcome to mention any out loud. Sheberach avotenu vekor habracha ve'imotenu. May the source of strength who bless the ones before us help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say Amen. Misheberach imotenu vekor habracha lavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shelema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say Whenever we come together, it is good to be here to lend our support to one another. Now, I know there are some good storybooks over there, but I did promise a Jewish ghost story. So, you know, any kids might want to come back to parents. I was thinking we could dim the lights, but then you might fall asleep. So, well, I don't know. Well, at this time of the year, as you may have noticed, looking through our windows, as it gets darker by the day, it is hard not to notice the array of jack-o'-lanterns, witches, spooky ghosts, and goblins that we might see around us. While some of us might be getting ready for Halloween this Sunday, and while Judaism is While Halloween is not specifically a Jewish holiday, believe it or not, Judaism has its own share of scary creatures and stories. By the way, thank you to David Wang for posting what you did on the Temple Beth David Facebook page today. Jewish tradition is filled with stories about witches and spirits, talking scorpions and snakes. I hope you don't see any scorpions or snakes near your seat. But take, for example, in the Talmud, there's a story of the 80 witches of Ashkelon. And keep in mind, this was written many, many years before the town of Salem, Massachusetts even existed. Or, for example, the many stories about a dybbuk, a spirit that clings to a living person, usually with the purpose of relaying a message from the world of the dead. We might call these Jewish ghost stories, which raises the question of what makes a ghost story Jewish. Keep this question in mind as I tell the following story. It is the story of the Golem of Prague, which was based on centuries of tales that unfolded about a golem. Note, not Gollum from Lord of the Rings, but a golem, a man-made creature formed from the dust of the earth. When I was in college, I actually visited Prague, and in Prague you can see lots of examples of this particular golem. Now, the golem, as Jewish tradition tells, was formed during an especially hard time in Jewish history when Jews were persecuted harshly. The story is as follows. Rabbi Yehuda Loew, known as the very pious, very holy Maharil, came to Prague in the year 1572 in order to become the rabbi in the community. The whole world knew of the rabbi's fame because he was deeply learned in all forms of knowledge and languages. Even the king of Bohemia held him in high esteem. Because of this, the Maharal was able to wage war successfully against the enemies of Israel who tried to shame the Jews. When the Maharal first came to Prague, the situation was especially bad. Immediately when he arrived, the rabbi announced that he would fight with all his power in order to silence the enemies of his people. So one night, the Maharal called upon heaven, called upon God to answer him in a dream how he could best stand up against his enemy. And the answer came to him from God. God said to the Maharal, "Create a golem out of clay who will destroy all our enemies." Now the Maharal knew that the Hebrew words of this formula, create a golem out of clay, these words were stored with mystical secrets whose powers would help him create this golem. He told this secret to his son-in-law and to his student and requested their help. So it was on the second day in the month of Adar, just before the holiday of Purim, that this story took place. At 4 a.m, the three of them, the rabbi, his son-in-law, and his student, made their way out of the city to the river. And there on the banks of the river, on a clay bank, they molded the figure of the golem, like a person. They fashioned hands and feet and a head out of clay and drew in his features like a human face. And on his forehead, and by the way, this is especially for our fourth graders who just got their Siddur, because you could see this in your Siddur. On the forehead of the golem, the Maharal wrote 3 Hebrew letters. The word emet, aleph, mem, and taf, the first Hebrew letter, the middle Hebrew letter, and the last Hebrew letter. And emet means truth. And having done this, having written emet on the golem's forehead, they circled the figure 7 times, and after they completed their circles, the golem started to light up like fire. After they continued to circle, a cloud of steam arose from its body, and they saw that hair and nails had grown on its body. And next, the Maharal himself circled the golem and recited this verse from the Torah. And God breathed into his nostrils the breath of life, and the person became a living soul, a nefesh chaya. And immediately after the Maharal said this, the golem opened his eyes and looked at the three men. And the Maharal said to the golem, "Get up on your feet." And the golem stood up, and they dressed him in the clothes that they brought. The Maharal said to the golem, "Now that we have created you, you can protect the Jews against their enemies." And they named the golem Joseph, and they said that Joseph must listen to them. Now the golem only could not do one thing. The golem could not speak, for the power of speech is God's alone to give. And the Maharal made the golem put on a disguise. He made him dress up like their neighbors and made him wear a rope around his waist. And the Maharal ordered him to guard the ghetto, to guard the town, and to roam the streets, and to be on the lookout for anyone who might cause harm. If he suspected anyone, the golem was to bind them with their rope and bring him straight away to the city square. Well, Joseph the golem thwarted all plots and personally brought any offenders to justice. No one in the town had any idea who this strange creature could be, and a great terror fell upon the town. The pleas of the Maharal had their last effect. Finally, the king himself issued a decree forbidding anyone to lay their hand on any Jewish person. And then the Maharal called his son-in-law and his student and said, "The golem is no longer needed. He has served his function." And he said to all of them, including the golem, to meet him in the synagogue that night. And at midnight, the darkest part of the night, the Maharal, the famous rabbi, and the golem went up to the attic of the synagogue. What do you think happened? The golem fell asleep. And they all began to circle him again. And then the Maharal erased the letter Aleph from that word emet, which meant truth, and it left only two Hebrew letters, mem and taf, which means death, met. And after that, the golem was no more, just a lump of clay. And they covered up the dirt with some old prayer shawls, some old talits, and left it there. Well, the next day, the Maharal had a proclamation posted forbidding anyone ever again to go up to the synagogue attic. The honor for the rabbi was so great that no one dared go up. It is believed that the clay is still lying there, buried deep under a heap of old prayer books and prayer shawls. By the way, I'll let you in a little secret. Temple Beth David has an attic. Has anyone ever been up there? I don't know. Noah laughed, "You've not been up in the attic." Very few people have. Well, you never know what might be lying up there. Now, this ghost story, I will tell you, is Jewish because I think it took Jews to imagine giving life to a creature who would stand up to our enemies. This golem was kind of came before our superheroes. And by the way, our 3rd through 6th graders can take a new elective with Robin Briggs, who's here tonight, all about Jewish superheroes, because Jews imagined heroes that would go out there and fight evil in the world. Now, ghost stories are scary, but here's the difference. Jewish ghost stories remind us to fight back against whatever might be scary. The only missing piece in the story of the golem was that the golem could not speak. The golem was not God. And so here's our Jewish lesson. We were left to be partners with that golem, to speak up whenever we might see any suffering, and to help the golem and to help God repair the world. So here's the deal. When you leave here tonight, maybe you'll see some witches out there, maybe some goblins. If you see a golem, that special figure made out of clay, that Jewish superhero, if you see the golem out there in the dark, you don't need to be afraid, because the golem is just looking for partners to help banish fear from the world. Shabbat Shalom. You are all welcome to join tomorrow morning to continue our Shabbat celebration, 9 a.m. Our lay-led minyan is on Zoom, I believe. David Wang, is that correct? Zoom only. And 10:30 a.m. If you are part of Owen's family and friends, you'll be here with us in the sanctuary. Anyone else is welcome to join in the live stream as Owen is called to the Torah as a bar mitzvah. For everything else, you can check your weekly shofar email. Our Shorashim students can sleep in on Sunday. We're glad you're here with us, and those of you celebrating from home. We are going to move into our concluding prayers for this Shabbat evening.
That's right. So, Aleinu l'shabeach, which is a prayer about repairing the world, it's also a prayer that lets you know the service is almost over. When you hit Aleinu, that's what it means. Page 282,
we rise. Aleinu l'shabeach la'adon hakol, la'tegedila liotzer breshit, shelo asanu kigoye ha'aratzot, velo samanu k'mishpechot ha'adama, shelo sam chelkinu kahem, וגורלנו ככל עוונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא, ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ, ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד.
We remain standing for another moment as we speak the names of loved ones who are no longer with us, those who have died in recent days and at this season in years past. We're in the period of Shloshim, the first 30 days of mourning and remembrance for Carol M. Silk, mother of Mark Silk, mother-in-law of Abby Silk, grandmother of Camilla and Sam, and Frances Lubin's mother of Rick Lubin's. It's the Yartzeiten, the anniversaries of death this Shabbat of Diane Altman, Eleanor Aronson, Donald Boehm, Joseph Berliner, Nathan Cohen, Barbara Fischler, Clara Fruchtman, Ann Fuller, Phyllis Grossbaum, Elaine Hirschberg, Frida Tarlin, and Rosalie Weil. If there's anyone you're remembering the Shabbat either at home or here in the sanctuary, I invite you to share your loved one's name. Zichronam Livracha, may their memories be for a blessing, and we join together in reciting words of Kaddish on page 294. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shmei rabbah, ve'alma divrach chirutei v'yamlich malchutei, v'chai chon v'yomei chon v'chayei d'chol Beit Yisrael, ba'galal v'zman kariv v'imru amen. Yehei shmei rabbah mevarach le'olam u'amei amaya, Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar v'yitale v'yitalal shemei d'kudsha b'richu, le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechamata, da'amiran ve'alma v'imru amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. We're going to call Owen back up to lead us in the blessings of Kiddush and Motzi. And again, to
our fourth graders. You can see where the sixth graders are. Our sixth graders, when you become bar mitzvah, keep studying your Hebrew. Fourth graders, if you do not want the responsibility to bring your Siddur back Tuesday or Wednesday, you can leave it on the chair. Otherwise, you can take it home. And Cantor Mark, I hope you're proud of how you're teaching our Hebrew students. We'll join now on page 5 as Owen leads us in this blessing for the holiness and sweetness of Shabbat.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu, v'shabbat kodsho b'ahava uvratzon hini lanu, zikaron lema'aseh v'reishit, ki uyom tehila lemikraye kodesh, zeher letzion mitzrayim, kivanu vaharta ve'otanu kidashta mikol ha'amim, v'shabbat kodeshecha B'ahava uvratzon hinchatanu, Baruch atah Adonai Mekadesh HaShabbat.
Amen. L'chaim. Well done, Owen. And so, times are a little different. Normally, we would all share in some juice and challah. But let's see, Ruth and Jim, did the cookies make their way out onto the table? They are. Okay, great. So, normally we would stay and schmooze and eat, but we're not really doing that yet. But this is wonderful to be back in our sanctuary. And thank you to all the adults who helped serve dinner as well. But as we bless our challah, on your way out tonight, especially if you didn't already get a cookie at dinner, you can get a packaged cookie to take out. We also have some Shabbat stickers for any of our young people here. So Owen is going to lead us in our blessing, and then guess what? The Ziegler family gets to take this home. So, all right, you can hold the challah.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech
haolam, hamotzi lachem min haaretz, Shabbat Shalom. Oh, and you can share that with your family, and Shabbat Shalom. We'll see you in the morning. Mazel tov to your parents, to May, especially to you, Owen. Nicely done. We're going to conclude with those last words on page 294. Oseh Shalom. We pray that God, who makes peace above, will bring peace here amongst us. And if you have a loved one next to you, you're welcome to put your arm around them if you'd like, especially any kids, as we'll join together. And thank you again, Elena, for ushering, Tim for our live stream, and we are so glad that you are, Seth and Zelena, for ushering as well, and we're just so glad that you're all here, part of our Temple Beth David community. Let's sing it loud and sing it proud. Oh, say shalom, Ya'aseh shalom, Ya'aseh shalom, Ya'aseh shalom, Aleinu. May the one who makes peace bring peace down, bring peace down. May the one who makes peace bring peace down, bring peace down. May the one who makes peace bring peace down, bring peace down. May the one who makes Shalom, everyone. You are welcome to greet outside if you'd like. Take something sweet. Shabbat Shalom.